What the f? Does anyone else feel this way while editing?
You got something a little extra. Normally I don't, but I think I'll let you get to know me. Maybe hold me.
Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and I'm going to finish the second round of edits on my book tonight. So what better time to start vlogging than tonight? I should have honestly been vlogging earlier because I got through like an absurd amount of chapters. I have read, see if I can figure it out for you. I think I was on chapter 21. Was I 21? No, I think I was on 22. Maybe 23. I was on 22 or 23. We're gonna go with 22 for the sake of this, for the purpose of this video. So I was on 22. I'm now on 33. So I've done 10 chapters today. Granted, some of them have been really small and have needed minimal edit. And I've also been editing for 8 hours. More than that, actually. Well, I've been editing since like 10:30 this morning, and it is 8 o'clock. This is also the third intro for the third video that I filmed today. So I feel like I've just filmed so much content and I haven't filmed anything since. Because the 3 videos are wildly and drastically different from each other. We're gonna finish this book, and I literally can't believe it. I posted on Instagram when I got through chapter 31, because chapter 31 is such an emotional chapter. I literally started crying and I didn't realize it until I got to the end of it, and I was like, okay. So, you know, like, it's just so surreal that I'm like going to be finishing like the second draft of a book. Like a second draft. Like, this is not the first draft. There are some drastically rewritten scenes in this book that didn't exist before. What the fuck? Does anyone else feel this way while editing? I personally hate editing. I'm probably going to talk later about what I've been doing in my edit, because I think my editing process for this book is a lot different than other things I've written, because this book I think is a lot cleaner. Probably. Come in. This one was standing out in front of my door, crying. Well, she like comes in and then she leaves, and then she comes in and then she leaves again. And so I was like, okay, leave, you know, because I thought she wanted to go downstairs. And so I was like, go downstairs. And then my dad texts me, is Belle outside your door? And it's like, okay, yes, she is. And now I have her, so she's not allowed to leave. I think now I need to get feedback on the actual story, the characters, and the plot, and the conflict, and the antagonist, and all that good stuff before I can move into another draft. So I'm gonna finish it tonight. I have been up 13 hours. I got up at 7 today, and I'm exhausted because I've been editing all day, and editing really exhausts you because I'm literally in the story for so long. So wish me luck as I try to finish this behemoth of a draft, and then I will update you on how many words I cut and my chapter average, and I'm going to show you my little spreadsheet that I made for the editing process, in case you were wondering about it. So let's go.
Hello, and welcome to my spreadsheet that I used to track my progress in the Wrath King, so I knew I would stay on track. So just to go through, obviously there are no spoilers on here. This is how many chapters there are. Originally they were all this red color, so I could see just at a glance what was done and what wasn't, and then I could see, oh, that's not it. I could see at a glance what I still had to get done. Just very simple. The color coding is very simple that I used. So I put down every single chapter and then the original length of them. Obviously, since I've edited every chapter now, there are different lengths. And then I put each of the parts. So the Wrath King is broken down into 5 parts. These are the new word count totals for each part. So I didn't want to put like part 1, part 2, like part 1 next to all of the chapters. So I just did this, and then my document on Scrivener is set up with each chapter in the parts, so I know what chapter goes in each part. Pretty self-explanatory. I completely rewrote chapter 9 multiple times, actually, and so it's the only one that's a different color because it needs to be let rest for a little bit before I go back and edit it. So everything has gone through one pass now for draft 2. Everything is completely edited through the first time. I've cut as much as I can. I think I've even cut more that I didn't update this with. And then I'm going to go through a second pass on my Word document, because I currently have it in a Word document, and I'm going to fix the grammar and stuff, and then it should be probably ready for betas. I don't know though. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so I cut, let me just do some math here. I don't remember exactly how many words it was. I know it was like 156, like 300 and some. So, and then I got down to, I cut many scenes. Not many scenes, a lot of superfluous scenes. And I cut nearly 7,000 words, which is actually a lot of cutting, considering I thought that this draft was fairly close to the story I wanted to tell. There's just some scenes that I was like, that doesn't really need to be there. So it wasn't anymore. So that's how many words I cut, and I'm proud of that number. More will probably be cut in the second pass and in the third draft before I start querying. So that's what my spreadsheet looks like.
This lighting is weird. I don't know how I feel about it. This is better? I don't know. Maybe. But you can kind of see how messy everything behind me is. And there's a Bobo. I can't see her because it's dark. But I have finished draft 2 of the Wrath King, and I can't believe it. I don't know. I kind of just want to go back in and continue editing it, but that is a bad idea for all the kinds of reasons. I do have to transport it? Copy and paste it. That's the easiest fucking way to say it. I have to copy and paste the new draft into Word or Google Docs. I haven't decided which yet, because I don't really like the compile feature on Scrivener. I don't know how to use it very well, so I'm just not gonna use it. Hi, Bebo. Looky. I don't know what she did. Yeah, I don't know. Completes this editing video. I know there was not much footage of me actually editing, but I promise you watching me just edit and sit at the computer is probably really boring. But just as a recap, I'm going to go through really quickly what I did in my editing process for this draft 2. So the first thing I did was I just read through the entire manuscript, didn't make any edits, and just kind of mentally made a note of what I wanted to do. The second thing I did, since I'm a pantser, I went onto Plotter, which is a app that you can buy. I did the free trial version. I don't think I'll be buying the full app because I don't think it is quite what I want yet. I think I'm gonna try some other methods before I commit to buying an actual program that will help me plot, just because I feel like I can survive without it. I actually hate this little thing that I have going on here so we're just gonna take it out. So I did that. I put all of the plot points on a timeline and kind of shuffled things around. I decided there was one entire plot line that never came to fruition because there were a couple of other plot lines that overtook it. So I took those out and rewrote the scenes where they were mentioned. I rewrote the beginning chapters. I rewrote the beginning introduction to Nola, one of the main characters, one of the point of view characters, because her original introduction was very weak, needed some serious fleshing out, and honestly was a bit of a drag. So I redid that chapter. Then my mother generously offered to hear me talk about the entire plot of The Wrath King, and we sat down together for about 2 hours for about a week, 5 days, like work week, and talked just about the plot, and I gave her every dirty detail of the story. And I read her the last act, essentially, and then I went about rereading it again and going through and combing through it with a very fine eye. I changed the wording around, I deleted sentences that didn't make sense, paragraphs that didn't make sense. I rewrote a lot of the scenes and just kind of played around with the order of things and how things were ordered together. I ended up cutting around 7,000 words from the manuscript, so it is now sitting at 149,348 words. I then transferred all of it into a Word document, just as it is, and I will then go through it and edit it for grammar, just some grammar things that are done, some misspellings or hyphenated words things, just using the editor that Word has built into it, just to catch some things, because Scrivener doesn't have a great editing feature, simply because it's used to draft. So that's not a minus for me when it comes to Scrivener. So that is what I did to edit the second draft of The Wrath King. I moved things around, I rewrote scenes, and I generally cut some things that I didn't feel like it needed anymore. And now I'm going to give it probably a month of rest from me personally looking at it, and then I will probably dive into a second pass just to make sure it is still the way I want it, and then I will probably look for betas, which will be really kind of weird. I'm planning on looking for them in October. Don't hold me to that though, because I don't know exactly. It is August 15th at the moment. I have no idea whether that's going to be actually feasible for me or whether I feel like it's going to be ready for betas, but we are going to see. So yes, that is what I did to do the second draft of The Wrath King. There are no revolutionary ideas in this editing process. It's not a whole ton, but that's what I did. So if you were curious or looking for my methods, that's what I did. I can make a more in-depth video that's more scripted if anyone would care to see that. I think I need to get a little bit better at refining my process and finding the correct words to properly explain it if I was going to try to teach it to someone. But yeah, so that's all that I did. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really tells me that you like my content and really supports my channel. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below if you want to see more of my rambling face. I have other writing vlogs. I have an entire playlist dedicated if you would like to catch up on my writing journey thus far since I started this channel in May. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, whenever you are, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
There was something in your eyes when click. Saw you standing in the back room with your tattoo.